Welcome to the Marketing Funnel Show, episode number 21. Today on the pod, I'm excited to introduce you to a student of mine named Jenn Murray. Welcome to the Marketing Funnel Show. I'm your host, Michelle Evans, and this is the podcast for coaches, experts, and online business owners to learn how to go from simply surviving to sold out using the power of marketing funnels. All right, let's jump into today's show. Hey, welcome everyone. Well, again, I am so excited to introduce you to Jenn Murray. Jenn is a student of mine, and she joined my signature program, Build Your Funnel Bootcamp, when she really only had an idea for her business. In fact, she came to one of my webinars and then she reached out to me and she said, Michelle, I don't have a business. In fact, I only have a couple ideas that I've been kicking around and I just came up with them last week. So I don't actually even have a business yet. I don't have a website. I don't have an email list. I don't really have anything put together. Do you think that a marketing funnel will work for me? And we went back and forth a couple of times and I asked her a few more questions. Like I asked her, do you have some time to commit to doing some research? Will you be able to dive into, taking a look at some offers and all that kind of stuff? Because, really with the funnel persuasion playbook, it can really take you, if you have a business, it can help you get really focused. If you don't have a business, it can also help you get really focused. And so I just wanted to see where her head was at. Like, was this just a dream or was this something that she was really committed to? And as we went back and forth a couple times, I could tell she was super committed to it. So I said, yeah, I think actually a marketing funnel would be really good for you. And in fact, I wish that I had had this resource when I first left my job at Microsoft, because it would have saved me a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of frustration, a lot of overwhelm of trying to figure out where to focus and what to do. And she was like, all right, well, I'm going to trust you and I'm going to do it. And I've got to say, if you've ever wondered if funnels can work for your business, this is a great interview to listen to because, again, Jenn is going to help you understand she went from less than zero. She is still in a job now because she's building this to be a side hustle so that she can start her revenue streams and start planning her exit from her job. But again, she had nothing. She had no list. She had no business. She had no website. She had no offer. She had no contacts. She had nothing but a desire to create her first thing online. And she had some good ideas too, but again, she just had some ideas. She didn't even know if they would really work. So I'm going to let Jenn really tell you about her story because it's really inspiring. So let's jump into Jenn's story now.
All right, welcome Jenn. I'm so excited to have you here today. So I know a little bit about you and your background, but I'd love for you to give the listeners and those of you watching a little bit of an overview of who you are and what your business is about.
Yeah, sure. So like you said, my name's Jenn. I'm the owner and venture strategist for RelateEscape, based here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where I live. And basically my company is all about connecting people with the city through what they enjoy. So that can be, maybe they're into great culinary food, maybe they're into outdoor recreation like kayaking or biking, shopping, whatever their thing is. I help them to just find their, get in touch with the organic pulse of the city and really experience it in a way that connects with them on a personal level.
And are you just for Pittsburgh or are you all over the place?
Right now, just for Pittsburgh.
Okay. All right. So just so we know, so you are, if somebody is thinking about going to Pittsburgh, you are the person to contact because you know the ins, outs, the ups, downs, everything about it, right?
Yes, definitely. And
okay.
You love to know about the city when you go somewhere that you wish somebody would have told you.
That's right. And that's a really interesting thing because a lot of times when we go to a new place, it's like, yeah, because I live in Seattle yeah, people know, kind of the highlights, but it's like when you really want to get to know a place, you don't want to just do the same old touristy stuff that everybody does. Like, yeah, you might want to go see the Space Needle, or for you, like, what's something that everybody does in Pittsburgh?
We're known for our Carnegie museums. So we have like the Science Center, the Natural History Museum. We have the Andy Warhol Museum, those kinds of things, which are great. But like you said, there's always so much more in a city. And sometimes it's really hard to find, when you're not familiar with that place, things that would really speak to you, that you would really enjoy. And we have a lot going on in Pittsburgh right now because we're in this Renaissance phase. And there's so much that people don't realize is here. And so that's why I wanted to start this company, was to help connect those two things, the city I love with what people like to do.
Yeah. Fun, kind of off the beaten path stuff, right?
Yes.
Now, just because I know this, but people listening to your story don't know this, this is not what you do full time, right?
No, unfortunately, not yet.
Not yet, right? And so this is more of a side hustle right now, right?
Yes.
So what is it that you do full time, first of all, and then second of all, how did you decide that this was where you wanted to focus your attention?
So full time, I do web and graphic design, and that's what my background is. It's what my degree is in. But the last few years has really been this sort of realization phase of figuring out that what I really am deep down is an entrepreneur. Like, I'm just not made to be in the office doing the same thing every day. Like, it doesn't fit me at all. And so I just came to a place where I realized that I want to have my own business. That's the only way I'm ever going to be happy. And so starting one based around the city I love, and uses all of my gifts from, being strategically wired and being a natural planner and a natural encourager, wanting to help people, to all those design things that I do now, just seemed a very natural fit for me.
Well, and what's interesting is because a lot of times when people are thinking about a side hustle, they kind of take a look at what they do in their day job. And I know I did this. Took a look at what I did in my day job and I went, okay, how could I just extend this into a side hustle? And you didn't do that. You kind of said, what skills do I have in my day job and how could I utilize those skills in a way that doesn't, drain me in the side hustle? And so I'd love for you to just talk a little bit about how you came to that, because I was like, dang, she's smart. I should have thought a little bit more about that, because if you just kept doing more of the web and graphic design, you would just get burned out, because basically you'd just be working 7 days a week.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And it was funny because, when I decided I wanted to pursue this entrepreneurial thing, like for real, the way I approached it was, okay, I only have so many hours in the day. And I want to make, if I want to eventually switch from having a full-time job to be able to sustain myself, I need a business that's going to generate the most revenue possible. And so I was like, I need a service-based business is what I need, because the margins are higher. And so that's actually how my brain ended up at this point. It's like it ended up at a place where, this business does make sense for me in a lot of ways. But my initial thinking was, I just want to get out of my day job. So how can I most effectively do that?
Without giving it up. So, right, yeah, until you're ready. I love it. And then, of course, you love this city. You know this city. You do stuff in this city. So it was a natural kind of way for you to marry that up.
Yes, because even with my day job, I work a lot with the marketing director for the county, and he is instilled in a lot of things that are going on in the city. So I have a lot of information and stuff. It's a natural fit, sort of, for what I do.
How long did it take you to get to this place where you were like, I think I could put together some fun little packages for people to get to really experience Pittsburgh in a different way than just, picking up, the city walk to Pittsburgh or whatever?
Yeah, amazingly, like Pittsburgh really doesn't have a lot available in that space. Like, because we're just now on this really big upswing of a renaissance, we have like one organization in the city called Visit Pittsburgh who does great work, but they're more about working with the media on like a national level and just getting the word out about how awesome we are. So they're not so much about helping people actually have packages or help them customize their experiences, help them connect with the city on that sort of level. We don't really have anything in that space. So that was another motivator for me, because I'm like, the door's wide open and we obviously really need this. Like, we need people to understand that there's so much in Pittsburgh and you can connect with it on a level that means a lot to you.
And when you were going through and thinking about this, like, what were some of the research things that you did to, because I know we worked a little bit on this of like, how did you focus down? Because taking a look at the whole city and like everything that you could offer, it could get a little overwhelming in terms of where do you start and how do you focus, right?
Yeah, and I'm still trying to figure that out because I'm in the initial stages of my business.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure a lot more research will be in play. But like you said, like in your boot camp course, which I'm sure we'll talk about here in a minute, but your playbook, the funnel persuasion playbook, the research that we did for that to figure out our marketing message actually really helped me do research for the company as a whole as well, because I was doing the concept fleshing out the concept at the same time as I was going through the course. So
yeah, which was great. I mean, because you didn't have to undo anything, right? You just got to start from scratch with the right concept. You didn't have anything bad to undo, which I thought was great. So, because I know you messaged me when you were thinking about joining Build Your Funnel Bootcamp, and it was an interesting time because you were like, I'm interested in this, but I don't even have a business. Is a funnel right for me? And we went back and forth a couple of times. And so I would love for you to talk a little bit about, first of all, what was your biggest goal in creating a marketing funnel for yourself, or for your kind of budding idea? Because you didn't even have a business at that time.
No, I had like a general concept.
Yeah.
That I came up with like a week before you offered your course. No, but I knew that because I have a day job, like working smarter, not harder is always prudent. But when you're like me and you have a day job, like, you're really limited in the hours that you have to sell your products and services. So for me, I knew it was going to be very pivotal to have that automation set up so that, I could be at my day job and I have stuff running for my business where it's selling for me. So I knew that was going to be a very crucial piece of whatever my idea fleshed out to be. So that was one of the reasons why I jumped at the chance to take that course.
Oh, that's great. And did you have any concerns, or what were I'm sure you had concerns. What were your concerns about building a funnel or about the boot camp in general?
I would say there was two main concerns. One was I need to figure out my business concept because I bought this funnel course.
Yeah. Yes. So, knowing what you're going to sell, that's kind of key to building a funnel. Like, that's step one.
It's a small component,
Yes.
So it was just knowing that I was going to have to do both those things. But the other part was like, there's components to the funnel, like having your email automation set up, which I hadn't done before. I dabbled in that space, but I hadn't done like actual, like, here's a full automation. Some of the components that were new, like writing the marketing, writing in a very marketing way, really hadn't done that in itself before. So there was like little components to it that I knew that I was going to have to really hone in on and knock out. But at the same time, the course was so complete and so helpful. Like, you gave us templates for emails. So yes, I had to figure out, like, did I want MailChimp or ConvertKit? But once I did the emails, I could just use those templates and customize them. And then you had Q&A sessions and things like that were helpful. So I knew the help was there if I needed it. It was just more about, I just need to knock out like these 60 bazillion things to get this funnel done.
And which funnel did you decide to do? Like, which one was right for you?
I did the cash infusion funnel, I believe is what it was called.
The list building one. Yeah. And so for you, that means that you had a lead magnet that led to a little tiny thing that you sold, not a giant thing. So it was easier because you didn't have to come up with some big product or program or service to sell. You could just come up with a small thing to sell. So do you want to, and then at the same time, you're able to offset your business costs and your list building costs and make a small amount of profit while you're attracting people into your business. So that's the whole point of a cash infusion list building funnel, right?
Yes.
So do you want to talk a little bit about what you created in that funnel? Because I'd love for you to just share how it came about.
Yeah, I like you said, I wanted to do something small. So I thought, well, I'll do a cheat sheet as my opt-in and give people, like I'm a chocoholic. So immediately I thought of, we have all these amazing.
I'm a chocoholic too. That's why we like each other. Yes.
We have all these amazing chocolate places in Pittsburgh, some of them new. So I was like, I'll make a cheat sheet of here's 10, places in Pittsburgh where you can get all kinds of ice cream and chocolate treats and truffles and all this stuff. And then my upsell to that was, well, let's take it one step further. And if you want to have like a little getaway for yourself, whether that's like a weekend getaway, what have you, here's a list of places that you could stay that weren't the typical chain hotels. They were like boutique hotels, and one of them had a very almost like a chocolate decor. I swear whoever decorated that hotel must love chocolate, because I'm looking at the photos, I'm like, your carpets look like somebody just sprayed chocolate on them, like chocolate splatters. So it was very I picked specific stuff that would go with the theme, and here's some cafes and chocolate places that you could go to sit down and eat. Here's some more places to shop. So it just sort of flushed out, one step further. If you really love your chocolate, here's some stuff that you can do and where you can stay, and
really get into the experience, right? Like fully decadent, gooey chocolate experience, right?
Exactly.
Well, and as we were going through and doing this, you were coming up with some really great things, and then we were going back and forth, which is fun for me because you did all the hard work of thinking through, what do I want to do, doing the research and all that stuff, and then you were able to send it to me to say, okay, what do you think about these headlines? And I could say, all right, this is really good, and here's what could make it better, right?
Right.
And so we were able to kind of collaborate on that. And in the end, I think what you came up with was so good, and you did it so fast. I mean, if you think about coming from no business to getting a funnel up and running, it was amazing.
Well, trust me, I've thought about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait.
You put in the work, right? So you have this opt-in that goes through 10 great places to get, absolutely phenomenal chocolate in Pittsburgh. So people can opt in for that for free.
Yep.
And then on the very next page, they could buy this small upsell. So how much is your upsell for the full chocolate experience?
$27.
$27. Okay. And then after that, what happens?
Well, they're added to opt in, they're added to my email list.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that they will get to learn a little bit more about me and my background, but also, be on my list for other great goodies that they might be interested in, especially the chocolate stuff.
Yes.
And they can stay updated on what other services and products that I roll out as I'm continuing to build out the business itself and get things going. So they can be the first to know.
Yeah. So as you have more things to come down the road, A, they're interested in your area.
Right.
B, these specific people are interested in the chocolate stuff, but that doesn't mean they won't be interested in other things that you roll out.
Right.
So what do you think your vision is for more stuff? Do you think you're going to have more of these mini offers like you did for the chocolate, or do you think you're going to go bigger, or what do you think is next for you?
When it's all said and done, I want to have, I want to have my services launched, and that's you want to come to Pittsburgh for a weekend or for a vacation, I can help customize the experience for you. Mm-hmm. But then I also want to have more of those little packages for people who maybe they just are local and they want a getaway weekend package, or maybe they don't have the money to pay me to do the customized experience, but they could download an experience that really works for them, that's just maybe not as customized, but still gives them an in to, oh, here's all these fabulous places in the city that you might like to go to. So I want to have options for everyone, which we know is always great to have, because people have different needs and are doing different things. So, and when it's all said and done, I want to have both that services and products that they can just buy online when they want.
So are you going to be building another funnel?
There will be lots of funnels.
Yes. which is part of the reason why I build Your Funnel Bootcamp like I did, because you can start with your cash infusion funnel, which is the mini one, and now you can just keep going bigger and bigger. Like you could probably do a quiz funnel next and see where people are and then split them into different things, right?
I thought about that already, yeah. Diabolical planning with the funnel.
Exactly. But once you go through because the idea of a funnel, and I don't know about you, but for a lot of people, the idea of a funnel when you've never done it is big. Like you said, it's like a bajillion things that you've never done, and it seems really hard and overwhelming. Is that fair?
No, that is fair, because it required me to learn, like I wasn't familiar with ClickFunnels. I had just seen some of your videos around about, you because you use it. But I had to get in there and actually create an account and figure out how do I set everything up. And then there's like getting into ConvertKit and figuring out how to set it up, although it's really easy. So yeah, there's a lot of like smaller components that you don't realize until you get into them, and you're like, oh yeah, I need to figure out how to do this. But the great thing about funnels is now I'm familiar with ClickFunnels. Like I know how to do a funnel now. I have all the basic foundational stuff set up. So it's just a matter of going in and continuing to build those specific funnels that I need when I need them. So it's like I've laid the foundation for, a lot of great things that can be built on top of that.
And the work that you did on the first one, now that can keep working. And so the next one you build, then that will keep working. And then the next one you build. And that's what I love about them, is that you do the work. I mean, it does take work. I don't shy away from that. I really hate it when people go around talking about how like they just happen like that, or they're just simple. They do take some work.
Right.
And I think that people need to go into that knowing that. But once you do the work, it's fabulous because they just run.
Yeah. It's like you're just making an investment.
Yeah, exactly.
Once you get that foundation built, then you can build your house on top of it because it's there and it's solid and you can just keep adding to it.
That's right. That's right. That's what I love. And then, so now the next time it goes a lot faster, because I know I shared this in the boot camp and everybody kind of was shocked when I said this, but I said, the first time you build a funnel, it's going to take you a while. But once you do it, the next time it goes really fast, especially once you've done your funnel persuasion playbook, because you know already what you want to communicate and how you want to communicate and the story you want to communicate and the experience you want to communicate. And that's really the hard part about a funnel, is like, what's the story I want to take a stranger through all the way through buying from me, right?
Right.
And it's not so much the what's the picture and all that stuff. It's what's the experience that I need to go through. So once you understand that, the next time you create it, you're going to be so much faster. You're going to be like, okay, I know the story. Now I just need to put it together, and you'll get it done in probably a tenth of the time that this one took.
Especially as you continue to hone your message for business overall, like because you're doing it in so many places. So you just do it in the funnel and have it work for you. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So did you have an aha moment? Did you have a big aha moment as you were going through this, where you were like, okay, either like this was really different than I thought it would be, or this is really crazy, or anything like that?
My best moment, and we'll call it an aha moment because I think it was, so I had gotten my funnel set up and I put my email in for the opt-in so that I could test everything and make sure I was getting the emails, from automation and everything. And I got that first like marketing focused message from my list. And I was like, oh my goodness, this reads exactly like all these other marketing emails that I've gotten from other people that I've totally connected with and bought into, and was like, yes, we're on the same page. And I was just like, it just was like this point moment where I was like, I can do this. Like, this is
oh my gosh, that's amazing.
And I can do this. And so it was like,
did you give yourself a high five? You're like, I'm legit.
Yeah. I was out on break in the middle of this business building because I go there to read in the foyer, and I was like, okay, you cannot like start shouting and screaming. But I was like sitting there like reading my phone, like, this is awesome.
You know what? I'm really glad that you mentioned that, because there is something really powerful about when it comes together and you're like, it's working. Like, it works. I'm real.
Well, and I had done so much work too, because I was like building the funnel and trying to build my business. And then all of a sudden it was this moment where I saw everything came together and it was real. And I was like, oh, yes.
I wish you would have shared that in the group. I totally would have high-fived you, because that's actually a really cool moment. And I know, when I tested it for you, I was super thrilled for you. I was like, oh my gosh, it's all working. This is awesome. Okay. So yeah, happy dance. And now as you keep going forward, you're just going to be like, yep, it's working. It's all coming together. So now that you have your funnel, how do you feel about driving traffic to it?
Well, that's one of the areas, because I'm building my business. I'm still trying to figure out where my ideal client is and how I can best, get in front of them. Mm-hmm. So I would say, like, with my funnel, that's probably the biggest challenge, but that's just because my business is newer and I'm just still in the process of figuring that part out. But it is a relief to know that I have a funnel and I have the ability to make more funnels when I need to, because when I figure out that missing component, then I can just bring the two together. So it's I've got this piece done where it's like, I know how I can, like, sell to my, tribe, sell to the people that I want to sell to. And I just need to figure out where they are. When I do, I know what I can get in front of them. So,
yeah. And that can be a challenge. And I know we've talked about some things that you can try. But now that you have this here, as you try more and more things, you'll see what works. So you'll be able to see where they come from, for sure.
Yeah. And I even added the funnel to my email signature, so
mm-hmm.
It's, my Instagram profile is a free opt-in, so it has its uses while I'm still figuring out exactly how to best implement it. It was a nice thing just to put on those two items, because the freebie, I'm like, here's a freebie, go download it. So.
Well, and that's the fun thing, is that a lot of times people overlook those really easy places that we can put them on our social media profiles. I have them on my email signature lines as well. Like, I'm like, whatever, if I'm going to be emailing with people, they might as well know that I have these things.
Yeah. You never know,
You never know. And I mean, like, if I'm emailing my kid's teacher, I might not have it. But if I'm emailing somebody about business, for sure, I want them to know what I'm all about. And you should too. It's a really cool thing, because you never know who they know, or that they might go, wait, I didn't know that you were offering something like this. That's cool.
Yeah. Especially as a new business, it's important to get out there as much as you can. So.
For sure. I know when I first went out on my business, I was afraid to even update, like, my LinkedIn and I was afraid to tell people what I did, because I didn't really have a way to, like, move them forward. But you do, and you have a way to, keep the engagement going, even if they don't buy from you right away. So that's really amazing. Okay, so if you were to talk with somebody who was in your situation, like a friend or a colleague or something, about Build Your Funnel Bootcamp, what would you say to them?
I would say, again, it's a really good investment. Even for somebody like me who had, like, an idea of a business but no business, because it does set that foundation, and it actually helped me with that process of fleshing out my business, because I had to do the persuasion playbook and do that research. And because I had to get all of these things done in a certain set time, like, it really helped accelerate that process. So I know that kind of seems contrary. It's like, well, you don't have a business, but buy a course on how to do business funnels. It's like, no, that actually was a pretty good move. And the other thing I would say is that I want to stress it again, because we were talking about all these little components that you have to do with the funnel, but, like, the course was so complete. And that's one of the reasons why I jive with you a lot, is because we're both, like, super organized and good planners. So you had, like, the email templates in there, like, you had the Q&A sessions if we needed to talk to you in person about something. We had the Facebook group, so we as a group could ask each other questions. So it wasn't one of those courses where you buy it and then you feel like you're sort of dangling out there by yourself. It was definitely, it felt like you bought into a community that will always be there. So I would highly recommend the course to anyone, no matter what stage your business is in. So
Thank you. And it was so, I mean, it's great. I love the community too. And I just look forward to growing it even more. And it doesn't stop when the 5 weeks of intense time is up, it doesn't stop. Even after that, people are still asking questions. And I don't know about you, but I still am engaging a lot with people way after, even in the group, because I love to see people get their funnels out there. Their first, their second, their third, however many funnels they want to do.
yeah, definitely. It was a very good group too.
It's a fun group. Yeah. All right. So if people want to see your funnel, kind of what you're about, where are some places that they can come see what your work is all about?
The website is simply relateescape.com.
Okay.
They can go there. There's a link to my Instagram. If they would like to see the funnel that I made, the link is on my Instagram profile. So I was going to give it. I'm like, no, you could just go click, because people will forget it by the time they.
Well, and I'll link to it in today's show notes.
Okay.
So if you're listening to the podcast, I'll go ahead and link to it.
Yeah.
So it's easy to find.
But Relate Escape is the main website. So that's a good place to start.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's really fun to just see something. I mean, literally from an idea to a business quickly. I mean, how long did it take you to go from an idea to a business? It was what, like,
yeah, because when did you, it was like the halfway through November or something when you
yeah.
first, and I literally just I think it was like a week and a half before that I came up with the idea. So,
yeah.
So from let's say mid-November till, what are we now in February?
Yeah.
A few months.
Yeah. Yeah. And you got your funnel done, even with the Christmas break and everything. I think it probably took you maybe like 45, 50 days to do your funnel. And then to get it, to have traffic start coming to it, maybe about 2 months or so, yeah. I think. Yeah. 6-7 weeks, somewhere in there. So that's amazing. And it says a lot about you and your dedication to getting this up and running, which is awesome. But I think that people should go see it, because it's great to see something when it's still in its early stages before it gets really big, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I will link to it. And if you are interested in going to Pittsburgh, I highly recommend opting in, because I've opted in a few different emails because I was testing your funnel, but her opt-in is really delicious looking. And the next time I'm on the East Coast in Pittsburgh, I'm definitely going to have to take her up on it, because it looks amazing. And for us chocolate lovers, this PDF for sure has some delicious looking things, but her upsell is awesome as well.
Yes. And the upsell also includes some tips about getting around town too. I just want to throw that in there, because
yes. Yeah. It's not just where to stay and what to eat. It's also like how to get around without
tearing your hair out,
without breaking the bank or getting stuck in traffic and wasting all your time. Yes.
Indeed.
All right. I just want to say thank you so much for coming on, for talking about your experience, for sharing your journey. I think it's really inspiring for people to hear that you can literally go from a nugget of an idea to having a funnel up and running, even when you've never used these tools or done these things before. So thank you for sharing that.
Oh, you're welcome. It's my pleasure. I hope it does inspire other people to take the leap and go for it.
Yeah. All right. And so we'll keep our eye on you and see what comes next for Relate Escape.
Thanks.
Okay. I hope that you were as inspired as I continue to be by Jenn. So she went again from less than zero with no business, no list, no website, no offer, no contacts, really nothing but a desire to create her first thing online. And in about 7 to 7.5 weeks, she got her first marketing funnel in place. She got her first offer in place, and she launched her first funnel. And that is so amazing. And since then, I'm going to link to all of her stuff today, but since then she's gotten even more offers up and running. She is so committed, and I've got to say, it's really fun to watch somebody grow this much. Clearly she did a lot of work, but she was using a lot of stuff in Build Your Funnel Bootcamp. So again, I really urge you to go check out everything that Jenn's done, especially if you want to go to the Pittsburgh area, because she's definitely an expert on that area. But even just to get inspired by what's possible when you really get committed and focused to taking action. So again, thanks, Jenn, for sharing your entrepreneurship journey with Build Your Funnel Bootcamp. And you can go see her simple and beautiful example of the cash infusion list building funnel that she's created. And then you can also see some other offers that she has on her site. So you can check her out at relateescape.com or just visit michelleLevans.com/21. And I'll link to all of her funnels directly in today's show notes so that you can go directly to her cash infusion list building funnel, which she built on ClickFunnels, or you can go over to her site as well. Want to know which marketing funnel is right for you and your business? I have created a totally free and easy quiz to help you figure that out. Head on over to today's show notes at themarketingfunnelshow.com/21, and in less than 5 minutes, you're going to know exactly which funnel is right for you. All right, I look forward to seeing you next week as we dive into even more funnel goodness. See you then.